Hello, and welcome to episode 14 of the How Uncivilized Podcast. This week, we're continuing our deep dive into the speculative script that is JJ Abrams Episode VIII treatment. Is it real? Who knows? Will we talk about it extensively anyway? You betcha. Now sit back and maybe hop into an alternate universe as we head back to the sequel that almost was.
Hello there. Welcome to the next episode of How Uncivilized, episode 14, and we're delving right back in to this
treatment, which we're not entirely sure whether it's real or not.
Yeah, it could be real, but who knows? I mean, basically, what we've been going through so far, we've gone through 5 pages of
4 pages. Well, we're starting the 5th.
Well, we're on to the 5th now. We've gone through 4 pages on the last episode, so if you haven't listened to that yet, go ahead, listen to that, get into this.
We're not going to do a refresh here, we're just going to jump straight back into it.
We certainly are.
Into the next page. A little bit of a reminder what's going on. So we've got Luke and Ray on Acto, or not Acto, as we realised it's been falsely called this entire time.
Planet.
It's actually the planet with no name. And so they've just been in the Jedi Temple, which is this big golden temple, and let's see what they're doing now. So, Spencer, do you want to take it away?
I certainly will, Mr. Charles B. Here we go. Luke, as I said, we have 90 sunsets till imminent attack.
Well, it's not imminent then, is it?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it makes me laugh.
Good grief. Great start, guys. Great start.
Yeah. As I said, we have 90 sunsets till imminent attack. When the last grain of sand falls to the bottom, if we're not on that beach, it'll be too late.
He turned over an hourglass. That's one thing I forgot to mention.
Yeah, he's just turned over.
Yeah, there we go.
That fills it in.
Probably should have said that earlier. Oh well, never mind.
Ray asks how he has this knowledge of the future, and he tells her, this island was home to an ancient sect of Force-sensitive archivists. The Cnid. Etched into the walls, he shows her archives depicting Jedi/Sith battles. They go back as far as 1,000 generations, all chronicled in hieroglyph form. Ray studies them. Following the timeline, she's shocked to see, on the very end, a drawing of her handing Luke's lightsaber back to him on the cliff. Ray, you knew? Luke chuckles. Ho, 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 ho. Because they knew.
Ooh, very intriguing.
Very much so.
A few inches away, she sees a picture of the great battle. 3 Jedi face 7 knights in black. She realizes this is the impending battle Luke speaks of. Ray traces the people with her fingers. Ray, I see you, me, but who is the third combatant at our side? Luke, we're not the only Force sensitives on this island.
Ooh.
Off Ray's look, Luke responds, she's on her way. Ooh.
Oh, my.
Colour me intrigued.
Oh, dear.
Ray looks around the temple to see many artifacts strewn around the floor and walls. Different weapons, armour, headdresses, and a couple jetpacks. Not a couple of jetpacks. I just want to make that clear. There's no of in there.
It's a couple called jetpacks.
Yes.
The jetpacks.
And also, all these things are strewn everywhere. Come on, Luke. You've not had much to do. At least tidy up in your time.
Loud.
Yeah. She runs straight towards one. A jetpack, Ray exclaims. I used one of these before, on Jakku. Whose was it? Luke, as I said, this was a safe haven. Many warriors left their armaments here for safekeeping.
He asks her to kneel. Please kneel. On an ornately decorated cushion. Oh, come on. Ornately decorated cushion in the centre of the chamber.
Good grief.
How is that cushion not like eroded away? Anyway.
Maybe he brought it from home. Like, this is my fancy cushion.
Luke has a fancy cushion. Yeah, he had time to bring like yeah, it's all modest on this island, but he had time to bring like a fancy sofa.
Yeah.
I stopped off at Space IKEA on the way here. I'm going to get stocked up. Anyway, let me just read that all again. He asks her to kneel on an ornately decorated cushion in the center of the chamber. Luke pulls a golden headdress resembling a snake's head from the wall and places it on Rey's head. As she kneels, he sets an ancient Jedi holocron in front of her. He asks her to meditate and dive headfirst into the aperture of the Force. He wants to test her Force sensitivity. As she concentrates, her body begins to flicker like a candle, in and out of existence. Luke's eyes widen, but he is unfazed. He talks her through this journey. Suddenly, Rey is sitting on a platinum throne inside a great acropolis. She wears lavish golden armor. Her eyes glow red. An explosion is heard, and half of the acropolis blows out. The palace is attacked by Jedi Knights. She touches her hand to a nearby holocron. The same holocron.
Luke breaks the vision. Rey gasps. It was so real, Luke, because it was 300 generations ago. Luke explains Jedi holocrons to her. Rey, so this is the first Jedi temple? Luke responds, yes, it was. Do you want to see the second? Off Rey's look, we cut.
I find that so funny. Like, just this one sentence. Luke explains Jedi holocrons to her. I mean, to me, it's like, I mean, who actually understands Jedi holocrons, like, too much?
It's almost like a placeholder of the fact that, we don't understand what this is ourselves, so we'll just come up with an explanation later.
It. It's like, Luke explains E equals MC squared to her. Luke explains the theory of time travel to her. No, I mean, yeah, it's a little bit weird. I mean, I think we know what holocrons are. They're like little things of information that you can use to use the Force to open them or whatever.
And also, apparently, vision-inducing things, you know? So that's...
better than drugs.
That's kind of cool. Yeah. I mean, all this stuff of her seeing, like, 300 generations ago, going back to the time of the Old Republic, it's the thing of... That's very cool to see, but I would kind of want its own film. Like, there's so much there. Like, just flashing back to it doesn't do it justice, does it?
Yeah,
but we'll put a pin in that for now. Hint, hint for future events. You know,
pin and cushion.
Yes. So there's a few different things. I kind of like. I kind of and ah about whether I like the idea of there being all these hieroglyphs of events which, like, you know, have happened and yet will happen. Like, the idea of there being in this Jedi temple, like, hieroglyphs of the events of the Skywalker saga, that I find really cool. If this was something Luke had been doing in his time, essentially creating this huge, like, Magna Carta type thing of all the events of the Star Wars saga, that would be really cool. The idea of it being, like, something designed hundreds of generations ago, and it also sees a bit of the future, that's a bit... I'm not sure what I think about that. It's cool, but it also makes me kind of go, huh.
Yeah, it's a little too far-fetched. The idea that anything is that omnipresent and that aware of everything kind of means that nothing is... I mean, everything is planned, so therefore nothing is a surprise, and therefore...
Yeah.
Like, the like Luke should know the way the battle's going to go. Do you know what I mean? It's just... It's silly, really. And the idea that I mean, what's going on here in this Acropolis where she's some kind of, I assume, Sith Lord and 300 Jedi just come and blow the place up? I mean...
Don't know what's going on there.
It's mental.
There's another thing I wanted to bring up in this, is that we mentioned in the last episode about how there's some, like, weird references to, like, other pop culture things.
Yeah.
And there was a bit on this page I kind of clocked, and it's where it says he asked her to meditate and dive headfirst into the aperture of the Force. And that, to me, I just immediately got, like, Harry Potter pensive vibes.
Yeah.
Like, it's that kind of thing of, like, it's such a... Because Harry Potter is so popular, it's such a weird blatant reference to it of like actually diving into memories. Like,
yeah.
it feels strange having it in a Star Wars film.
Yeah, that would be really weird. I think the idea
Yeah.
of that is, quite strange. I mean, I like the idea of exploring the Force a bit more, but I don't know if, like you say, I don't know if that works. But yeah, like I love the fact she loves jetpacks. You know, a jetpack.
I love the fact that if this is JJ Abrams' script, he managed to get jetpacks in it. You know, he managed to get them in episode 9, even though he couldn't get them in episode 8.
I know, the dude just loves
He was
jetpacks.
determined to make them fly now.
Like a jetpack's like an 80s thing that he had when he was growing up. Does he just really like did he see someone with a jetpack and thought, goodness, jetpacks are cool. I want more jetpacks in my life.
know.
I'm going to throw them in Star Trek and Star Wars, and I'm even going to throw them into
don't know.
whatever else I did. I don't know. Like I assume he did Jurassic Park or Jurassic World.
No, that was Colin Trevorrow.
Well, who knows?
But I'm just imagining him being like, you know what's cool? Jetpacks. You know what people like? Jetpacks. You know what this scene is missing?
A jetpack.
Jetpacks. You want to make something cool? You put them in a jetpack.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love it. I love how excited she is about jetpacks.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's a jetpack.
I love that.
I've always wanted
She
this.
runs straight towards the jetpack. Not like the cool armors and like headdresses.
No.
The jetpacks. Jetpack. I can't get that.
Like a child at Christmas.
Yeah, it's like,
oh my God.
what about this really cool weapon that can control like the weather? Nah, jetpack. Must have jetpack.
This is some art made by Jedi hundreds and hundreds of generations. Oh my God, there's a jetpack.
Must have jetpack. I love the fact that Luke somehow in some weird kind of ceremonial way places a golden headdress on Rey's head. I mean, that's kind of weird. What the hell is that? What the hell is the headdress?
I don't know. It's bonkers. And another thing I wanted to point out from that page is that Luke's like, oh, do you want to go see the second Jedi temple? Like, how many temples does this island have? Like, good grief.
It's like a Russian doll of temples.
Yeah.
Here's the really big one, and this is the medium one, and the small one, and the extra small.
It's not a big island. Like, you can't hide them everywhere. Like,
that's hilarious. I just find it hilarious. That's brilliant. Right, anyway.
Yeah, well,
and also in this one, he hints at the another Force user, that will be, I imagine, appearing later on. We get to hear about.
Yes, that's a cool little hint. Again, more Force users, always good.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
Give me more Force users.
Exactly. But I feel like we've milked that page, so shall we move swiftly on?
Page 6, yes. After you, good sir.
Indeed. Back on Mustafar, Kylo looks into a cracked mirror. He sees his reflection and is horrified. Half his face is sutured into a mecha suit. Sorry, is sutured in mecha tissue. I don't know where I read that from. That's not even on there. He's not wearing a mecha suit. What's going on? I'll read that sentence again. Half his face is sutured in mecha tissue. His left eye is a cataract of blue film. He's become a monster. He smashes his fist into the mirror and screams in anger.
That's 7 years bad luck, by the way.
Yeah, he's ruined himself for a good 7. As he sluggishly stands upright, he spies his mask and outfit hanging in the corner. His communicator chirps. Master Kylo, Dathan Nort approaches. Dathan Nort's ship cascades through the Mustafar hangar bay. Kylo and his Knights of Ren wait for her. Dathan Nort tells Kylo Snoke has sent her to spy on him. Kylo gives her new orders. She is to accompany him to Jakku to seek out the last known owner of the Millennium Falcon, Unkar Plutt. She bows. Yes, Master. So how does this hierarchy thing work? I'm very confused.
Poe, Finn, and the X-Wing squadron meet at the rendezvous point. Leia explains to Poe she directed Hux's ship towards the outer rim of the unknown regions. Poe checks the star charts and sees nothing in that sector but a dying black hole. Leia says, precisely. she explains. The only way to beat the First Order is to lure Hux and his flagship Star Destroyer.
And his flabby Star Destroyer.
And his flab ship into the black hole's event horizon and push it in. Everyone gulps. Oh. Poe remarks, BB-8 is on that ship, but it's a great plan. Like, one of my friends is on that ship. Oh, but it's a great plan.
Yes, I'm going to sacrifice him.
Whose idea was it? Leia replies, BB-8's. Poe's eyes pop. Just like... They set a course to follow the siege on its current trajectory.
On Jakku, Dathan Nod, sorry, I just love the name, and 2 Knights of Ren wait in Unkar Plutt's line. As they creep towards the front, they see Unkar behind the gate of his infamous barter station. They ask for the Millennium Falcon's tracking device. He rudely barks back at them. 4-quarter portions. No, he doesn't really. He rudely barks back at them. I have no such thing. Get away from me, you amphibious urchin. He slams the gate in front of them. Dathan Nord smiles. Using her vibrasize, she surgically cuts a massive chunk out of the barter station wall. The wall crumbles to the ground with a thunderous "Patchad!"
Kaslice!
Shablam! As the various traders and townfolk scurry, Unkar Plutt falls out. She asks again. This time, he complies.
Back on Acto... Oh, sorry, you mean the unknown planet. Back on the unknown planet, Luke, Rey, and Chewie stand on the beach. Rey wears the newly discovered jetpack and fiddles with the wrist-saddled controls. It doesn't seem to be working. Luke snickers. He focuses concentrated force energy out into the ocean. A gigantic pyramid, 10 stories high, emerges from the roaring waves. Rey, is this the second Jedi temple? No, it's not. I just brought up another random temple.
This
you
is
idiot.
my special dungeon.
Luke, yes, it was well hidden. A small door opens. Luke waves her in. After you. He takes her through the spiraling hallways and explains the temple's mysterious existence.
Wow, just wow.
Well, that's quite something.
Yeah, I mean...
So, to go back to the beginning of the page, Kylo's got like a cool looking eye type thing.
And a mecha suit now.
Yeah, and a mecha suit. But then he also talks about his mask, so it's like, are we going to undercut all this cool like Scar stuff by just having him put his mask back on? Like,
yeah, it seems backwards. I mean, I think he's
know.
evolved past the mask as well. I mean, it was purely to sort of become Darth Vader, wasn't it? And I feel like, he's becoming his own person now, so doesn't need the mask.
Yeah, and then him and the Knights of Ren and Darthan Note go to see Unkar Plutt, and what I kind of thought about this is that clearly JJ Abrams wanted to put Simon Pegg in another one of his films. Like,
obviously.
They got a good working relationship going, so he just wants him back.
And Simon Pegg wants to be back. I mean, he loves Star Wars. He loves Star Trek.
Yeah.
He loves all of it.
Yeah.
No, he definitely does.
Anything to bring... You know what? Bring him back. He was great.
He was awesome.
Yeah.
Have you seen like what they do at the
portions.
sort of outtakes of Paul, where Simon Pegg and Nick Frost do like a little C-3PO and R2-D2 sketch?
No, I haven't seen that.
You should definitely give it a watch, mate. It's really funny. I'll send the link to you to watch it. And anyone else listening, just give that a watch. It's quite funny.
Also, we find out on this page that BB-8 had the amazing idea of like sending the First Order to a black hole.
Yeah.
Which, to be honest, like the First Order, you're kind of stupid. Like, you have maps too. You clearly can tell you're going towards a black hole.
Exactly. What are they doing?
Yeah. And finally, I've put, to do with the second Jedi Temple, again, weird references to pop culture stuff. But have you ever played Minecraft recently? Because in that, they've got like underwater temples, which are like pyramid shapes.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So he's just pulling out from Minecraft. What's going on?
Yeah, so like this is now a Minecraft reference. So we've had, what have we had? We've had Star Trek, we've had Harry Potter, And now we've got Minecraft
I love
references
it.
as well.
I love all the pop culture references. You know, a good film is made out of pop culture references. So I'm glad we get them in there.
I mean, it doesn't make a good Star Wars film, but...
who cares, you know? At least
we get
it. Gives it heart, you know. If something doesn't have heart itself, steal someone else's, you know. That's the main idea, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the Indiana Jones Temple of Doom philosophy, yeah. If you don't have a heart, steal someone else's.
Exactly. Oh, dear. But I do like on this page the idea that there's a bit of mutiny going on between sort of Kylo Ren and Dathan Naught, them working together, moreover than Snoke having any real power. Here's again just
a bit of rivalry, really.
I appreciate it and I like it. And I think, I do think Kylo Ren having some form of like apprentice or, I don't know, rival within the sort of the First Order in that sense would have been really cool.
Yeah, someone to like butt heads with, really. Like him and Hux did that a little bit in Episode 7.
But it didn't work because of the power imbalance, because he could just spin him around or whatever, or just force push him or choke
General
him.
Hux just became such a punch bag by the end of the...
he
was literally like shot.
He was just killed off
Grant.
without any like afterthought, mate. It was just literally just like, bang, he's dead.
Forget like, you know, Chewie nearly exploding. That for me was the biggest shock of the film. Yeah. It's just like, oh, there goes General Hux.
And he wasn't important at all.
No.
But I do like the idea of more Force users, basically, I think is the big thing.
So, shall we move on to page 7?
Yeah. Here's the last bit of Act 1. They train with staffs inside. Audra...
Oh dear, that must be painful.
Oh my. Don't put that there. Audra and the kids watch them. Oh my. Oh wow. Anyway, Audra and the kids watch them from a distance. Rey and Luke race on the beach. Tag, you're it.
Chase me.
Chase me. Rey and Luke race on the beach. At the finish line, Luke tells Rey to continue beyond the rocks by herself. He wants her to meet a friend of his. Alone. As she climbs over the rocks, she jumps down into a shady cove. There, she sees a large sea monster feeding its young. It lunges for her. She screams. Luke screams from behind the rocks, but it's too late.
Was that Luke's scream?
The monster has Rey in its greasy tentacles. Ugh.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Why greasy? Why not slimy?
Been eating a lot of KFC.
How does greasy help? Greasy tentacles are just the wrong type of tentacles. How are you going to get anything? Like, just be like, let me just pick up Rey. Oh, nope, she slipped out. Anyway, right as the monster is about to drag her under the waves, somehow, even though it has greasy tentacles, it freezes.
Yeah.
Like a glistening goddess. Ahsoka Tano stands before her. She's using the Force to calm the beast. Chewie then jumps from behind the rocks and unloads his bowcaster into the creature's head. The tentacles unwrap from around Rey, and it slithers back into the ocean. Ahsoka explains that there are many beasts on the island. She must be mindful of mothers protecting their young, for this cove is their feeding ground. Luke joins them. Ahsoka explains this is where she's been living for many years, free from the pressures of the galaxy. The Bell hourglass slowly drains sand, pebble by pebble. And that's the end of Act 1.
Yeah, we're going to take a quick break halfway through this page, because literally that's where Act 2 is.
Yeah, and we don't want to start talking about Act 2 in Act 2 before we finish Act 1.
That suddenly got me thinking, like, is Act 2 called, like, Act 2, like, is it called that as, like, a joke?
Yeah, well, because it's like...
Were they like, oh, this is where Act 2 of the trilogy will take place, so the actual planet is called Acto, which sounds like Act 2.
I think it was that, mate. I think...
That's got to be confirmed. Like, that's too near to be...
Exactly.
To be wrong. Like, that's got to be right.
Yeah, that's got to be spot on. I mean... Yeah, I like the wordplay. I'll take it.
Yeah. So the big thing about that is we've got Ahsoka Tano back. Like,
Yeah, I mean, great.
she's in the new trilogy. That's pretty cool.
I think it is cool. I think Ahsoka Tano is a great character, one that's been through a lot. And I think bringing her in is quite interesting. I mean, we know who she should be about in this time. So sort of bringing her in is a really cool way of exploring other Force users outside of the sort of the standard group of Force characters. And again, it sort of emphasizes that feeling that the Force is more than just two people, which is really nice.
Yeah, when he initially said, oh, there's going to be like a third person, part of me kind of hoped it was going to be like Finn or Poe or someone.
Yeah, exactly.
But like the fact that it's Ahsoka, like I can get behind that. It's kind of nice. But all I could think when I read this bit is like, if my parents went to see this film and they saw like Ahsoka turn up, my parents would just be like,
what?
Who?
Who is this and why? Yeah, mainly just for the fans, isn't it? You know.
Yeah, it's very fan servicey to be like, oh, here's that character
from that
you haven't
series,
heard from in a while. Yeah, like I feel like we'd enjoy it, but the average movie going person would not necessarily enjoy it. I wouldn't think, because they'd just be like, who? And then you'd have this weird scene where like all the fans of the Clone Wars and stuff would be there like, oh my God, that's what she's been doing this entire time. And the other people are like, wait, why is she explaining? Like, who is this? Like, what's she doing?
Yeah, exactly. She's just some random person that's appeared. I mean, she could easily have just been like, regardless, some Jedi, because Luke was saying earlier he set it up and that's saying Jedi from Order 66 came here. So, I mean, that could be a good enough excuse, good enough reason. You just literally just say, oh, I escaped Order 66 and came here type thing, and that would be good enough
absolutely.
Of a filler. But really quite interesting, that one. But really,
another thing I wanted to point out is, again, on the list of pop culture references, Rey being attacked by a tentacled sea monster.
Yeah.
You know, it's Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring.
Exactly, yeah.
I mean, they don't own like sea monsters. I mean, technically there's also one in Pirates of the Caribbean as well.
Yeah.
But equally, like, another tentacled sea monster.
Yeah, exactly. Very
weirdly, they already had a tentacle monster in The Force Awakens. Like, what is it with them wanting tentacle monsters?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they did. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, the Rathtars.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah.
I have not watched Episode VII in a very long time.
That whole, like, Rathtar sequence, I almost just kind of forget about. That's probably, for me, the weakest part of that film, purely because I forget that it happened.
Yeah, exactly. It's very bizarre. Completely forgot. Oh, and then they introduce Scottish accents into it, don't they? Into the Star Wars universe.
With the guy like, Han Solo,
reveal
you're
yourself.
a dead man.
Yeah, quite interesting anyway. But unless you have anything else to say about that.
No, I think we should...
Do you want to just
crack on with Act 2?
You go ahead.
On Act 2. Oh, wait, no, we start on the siege. Never mind. That backfired.
Damn it.
Act 2. The siege streaks through the galaxy at light speed. Hux's navigators explain they will be passing the Maw and entering uncharted space. They have no idea where these coordinates will take them. Hux, hungry for victory, ignores their warnings and barrels forward. What, is he like a tumbler or something? Like, is he like a circus performer? Anyway, Leia's ship chases them. As soon as the siege stops, Hux sees the black hole. He immediately orders the engines to be reversed to avoid being caught up in the singularity's gravitational pull. Leia's flagship arrives and unloads a merciless barrage of torpedoes at them. Poe, Finn, and the X-Wing squadron dogfight with the protective armada of TIE fighters. Inside the siege, a female protocol droid, CFIXI, or Sifix, or whatever that is, spies the Resistance armada out the window. She jumps in a one-man escape pod and rockets towards Leia's ship. The droid's pod magnetically clamps onto the Resistance's ship's hull. CFIXI, Siffy-XI, or Siffy-Z, something like that. I give up. blasts in through an escape hatch. She runs towards a crowd of rebel soldiers, saying she's defecting. They take her away in shackles. Just as it looks like Hux is winning, BB-8 inside the siege hacks its pulse thrusters, pushing the giant Star Destroyer into the event horizon of the black hole.
Well, there we go.
That's pretty cool. Mostly action. Yeah, this is a good opportunity to bring up something I didn't mention in the last episode, because there's a weird line in this where Poe, Finn, and the X-Wing squadron dogfight. And I was going to mention this last episode, but although this sounds weird to us, there's a weird thing in movie scripts where instead of like showing action which they know will be filmed, in scripts sometimes they will literally just write "they fight." There's a really famous one of, you know, the scene in Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, when they're running down the staircase and then like the orcs start shooting at them and then like the staircase like collapses.
Oh, yeah,
and they
yeah.
have to jump over the gap. Yeah, in the script for that, because that sequence only came about like whilst they were filming. So they were like, oh, we can do this really cool thing on the staircase. But because of that, in the script to that point, even when and after they filmed it, it still says the Fellowship run down the stairs.
And that's all.
Yeah, that's all it says.
Brilliant.
So this is another weird one of those things of it saying Finn, Poe, and the X-Wing squadron dogfight will probably end up as like 15 minutes of finished film.
Yeah.
Even though it's just literally like they dogfight.
Mental. They don't have to do any work for it. Just let anyone else sort out the specifics.
It's great.
No, it's good. It's I understand why. I suppose it's not very, like, if you're just trying to put the plot down, that's not really an important part, what happens in the fight. The outcome, I suppose,
you're kind of
is more
just writing down thoughts, almost like the things I find about these treatment type things is they're often written very quickly. Like it's literally just people throwing thoughts like down on a piece of paper, like as they go. And sometimes, like this one, for example, they can be a bit messy, a bit rough around the edges. So you kind of have to take them with a pinch of salt at all times.
Yeah, no, you definitely do, don't you? One thing I was looking at.
So there's a couple of cool things in this one I wanted to bring up. And the first one was the fact that they have the Maw. And I don't know if you remember, but they use that in Solo. So clearly, like, this idea of there being a black hole and them having to fly away from the black hole, that was used in Solo.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I was just about to ask about that. I couldn't quite remember myself, but that's a cool little reference.
Yeah, so that's cool. And then also there's a droid in it who defects, which is, it's not exactly the same, but, in Rogue One, you have a droid that's been reprogrammed from being an Empire droid to being a Resistance or a Rebellion droid. And then you also have in Solo again, you have the droid who is like rebelling and like all for droids' rights and stuff. So
yeah, that's
I think
great.
This CFI-XI or CFI-XI, how would you pronounce that?
I literally just read out the letters like CFI-XI. I don't know how else to, like, apart from CFI-XI, CFI-XI.
Yeah.
CFI-Z or CFI-G if you're going to do it like Chinese pronunciation.
No idea.
Sviji could be. Sviji,
maybe.
I don't know. To be honest, yeah, I have no idea. Just CFI-XI is probably the best way. Or if it's Roman numerals, then it's like CFI. What's that? 11?
Well, isn't C 100? So it just gets more complicated.
Yeah, okay. Let's step away from Roman numerals.
Yeah, I think
100
CFI-XI is the
11.
best way to go. 100 F1 11.
Yeah, that's a bit much. Yeah, no, I don't know.
Yeah,
perhaps not.
Yeah, so that's an interesting start to Act 2.
Yeah, very interesting start. I'm assuming that means that Hux is dead, but I'm sure we'll find out soon. So I'll kick us off onto the next page then. Captain Phasma and a battalion of stormtroopers escape into hyperspace. Dang nabbit. But Hux isn't so lucky. He dies as the siege is sucked into the black hole and crushed. Bye, Hux.
Oh, wow. Oh, dear.
So
Never mind.
This little draft cuts him even shorter than it did in the actual films.
Captain Phasma lasts longer than he does.
Yeah, which is nuts.
Yeah.
Considering she's killed off in episode, whenever it is, episode 8.
Episode 8. Yeah.
Right, anyway, General Leia is brought to CFI-XI's cell. CFI-XI tells her she must dispatch a strike team to Supreme Leader Snoke's world of Sacrum. There, Snoke has a priceless artifact he's using as a secret weapon. I assume using and willing to use are the same thing anyway.
Yeah.
Leia is dubious, but C-3PO knows CFI-XI was a protocol droid abducted by the First Order many years ago. So Leia believes her. CFI-XI explains the artifact must be located and destroyed to ensure the safety of the New Republic. Which has already been destroyed. It's not safe. It's been blown up. CFI-XI gives Leia the secret coordinates to Sacrum. She goes on to say anyone visiting the planet must be given a special injection. CFI-XI pulls a vial of blood from her chassis.
Her chassis.
They didn't spell chassis right. CFI-XI pulls a vial of blood from her chassis and gives it to General Leia. Leia asks what it is, and CFI-XI replies, artificially engineered Sith blood.
Ugh.
Yuck.
The Resistance thinks BB-8 was destroyed along with the siege, but he's actually stowed away on Captain Phasma's escape craft. Phasma finds BB-8 hiding in the hangar bay. Using an evil red and black BB unit, they hack into his memory banks and deduce the real location of Acto, the unknown planet.
Oh my. Oh my.
They throw a malfunctioning BB-8 into a scrap heap along with many outdated battle droids. Before he fizzles out, he sends Poe a distress signal. Poe picks up BB-8's distress call. Poe, Finn, and the remaining X-Wings, equipped with light-speed jackets, chase after Captain Phasma's ship.
Bum, bum, boom. General Leia drafts 5 Resistance-friendly bounty hunters. See, that's something we don't hear of, Resistance-friendly bounty hunters. Where are they?
Yeah. Where are they now? We don't know.
We don't know. Lost in the realm of space. Space. She orders them to travel to Sacrum and retrieve the artifact. After receiving their respective blood injections, they jet off to Sacrum. Leia takes the fleet back to a new Resistance base to hide, while the others race to Acto in search of Rey and Luke. Back on Acto, Luke's kids awake Rey. Luke tells her they want to sing a song they wrote, especially for her. Everybody treks to the bell. Oh, what? Luke named his kids' band the Max Rebos. Luke plays his flute. Rey reveals to Audra after being here 2 months she doesn't want to leave either. This is the family she's always wanted. Audra hugs her. Rey cries.
Like ugly cry. Right. Like a lot of snot.
Disgusting. Filthy crying. Luke's kids sing to Rey. Welcome to Act 2, such a perfect time. Luke/Rey training montage set to music. Think summer's almost gone by the doors, but obviously different. Open brackets. I'll have Michael write something cool. Close brackets. I'm assuming they're referring to Michael Giacchino.
Yes.
Time passes by. We see Luke and Rey in various stages of combat training. With Chewie and R2, they set up various traps on and around the beach.
So, first thing I'll point out, an interesting thing you said there, is in the brackets it says, I'll have Michael write something cool.
Yeah.
But John Williams did the music for the trilogy.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, he only signed up to the first film.
Yeah,
originally.
So this was clearly before he actually
said, I'm going to do the next one.
Yeah. Which is interesting. That's almost like a little clue that this might possibly be real, because that's a level of detail which most people would probably look over if this was fake. So maybe it was, even if it's fake, maybe it was in fact written
by someone with a brain.
Yeah.
Someone's actually really done the research and thought it through.
Yeah.
But
yeah, like I said, Hux is dead. So clearly JJ did not like Hux at all, because even in this early draft, Hux has been killed.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know what Domhnall Gleeson did to JJ Abrams, but clearly they did not get along.
Must have been some nasty shit.
Yeah. And then you get the weird thing about needing Sith blood to enter this planet, which is a very weird concept. Like, I don't really get that, but... okay.
Yeah, I'll take it, whatever. I mean, I think it's something to do with, like, I don't know, there's like some kind of blood shield on the outskirts of the planet, and to get through, you have to have the blood.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems really convoluted and a bit too ridiculous, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But there we go. I mean, you know, interesting take on it, I suppose. Sith blood. Inject it into yourself to get onto a planet.
Absolutely, yeah. And then...
But then if that's the case, though, then the person... either you need a blood injection or you need to learn both the light and the dark side of the Force. I mean, what is it in order to get onto the planet? I mean, it doesn't really...
Yeah, I don't know why blood would make any difference.
No, but then it's like, well, then if that's the case, then why did Luke try and teach Ben Solo how to use the dark and the light side of the Force when he could have injected him with Sith blood or something?
Yeah. There's a lot of questions raised by this.
Yeah, a little bit weird, a little bit bizarre.
Yeah.
I suppose, I don't know.
Yeah.
A bit.
But one question I didn't have after reading this page was BB-8's heroism. Yet again, top form BB-8, really making the most of his time, you know. Only under interrogation did he finally give up the coordinates, you know, and
he's great. He's a hero, a soldier.
Yeah.
He's
a true hero of the
Republic.
of the Resistance, yeah. And then it turns out this droid, CFI-XI, is a defector. And one thing I immediately thought was, like, it's a droid. You can wipe their memories. Like, why didn't they do that? Like, how can you have a droid defector when you can just wipe their memories?
Yeah, exactly. Like, what's happened there? Did it just suddenly...
That seems a grievous bit of oversight by the First Order.
Yeah, like just letting in, hi guys, I'm a droid and I want to join the First... Well, great, come on in. He's like, don't you want to do anything with... Nah, just come on in. You know, just take a seat. You're going to be one of us now.
Yeah.
Well, at least they're very open and letting people in and not overly manipulating them. That's quite a nice way of putting it.
Yeah. And then we get probably one of the weirdest aspects of this script for me is that Luke's kids are in a band.
Called the Max Rebos.
Yeah. Like, what?
Mate, I love that. Do you know who Max Rebo is?
No.
You know the blue elephant that plays
oh my goodness.
The jazz stuff in Jabba's palace? That's Max Rebo.
Oh, wow. What a reference.
Why is he naming his kids after a dude who plays for Thugs? I'm so confused. What's going on?
That's crazy.
It's not yes, the weirdest part is the fact that his kids have a band, but the even weirder bit is that he called them the Max Rebos. I mean, what?
Why does he remember that?
Yeah.
You could have called them Ben and the Kenobis.
Playing classics like, I'm serious, I'm not an elephant. Oh, dear. Yeah.
And also, again, we see Luke playing his Picard flute.
Yes, we do. Tooting away.
As part of his kids' band, you know?
Yeah. I mean, let's assume that it's not his kids' band, but it's the family band. And,
the family
we've got
band.
Audra,
Wagon.
she's playing the drums. Luke's on the flute. We've got one of the kids on guitar and then the other one on, I don't know, bass or keys or something, you know?
Yeah, probably keys I'd go for.
Yeah, that seems more realistic. Yeah. That'd be really cool.
And then we get a cool training montage set to music
this
by
is
the Doors.
Not Rocky.
Have you heard?
It's the eye of the tiger. It's the thrill of the fight.
Do you know the song "Summer's Almost Gone" by the Doors?
No, I don't.
Because it's really not like a training montage kind of song. I mean, you know what the Doors are like anyway.
Yeah.
But it's really quite a melancholy, not necessarily a sad song, but when I listen to it, I don't think of getting pumped for this montage. So I almost think they're going for a kind of chill, melancholy type montage, as though they're almost setting up them to fail in this quest, or I don't know. It just seems a weird choice of song to say, I want it to be like this.
Yeah.
And it's like, really? Like,
Is that actually what you want?
yeah.
Okay, weird. Yeah, I had no idea. I assumed it was like some kind of like heavy rock thing, with a bit fat. No. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
That is very bizarre.
I'll put a link in the description of this podcast so people can give it a listen.
Yeah, please do. Oh, mate, I'll be honest. This whole page is just the weirdest one.
Oh, yeah. This page is bonkers.
This is so weird. The whole idea of being in a band called the Max Rebos. I mean, let's think about that. Luke is making his kids idealize what I can only assume is someone who has murdered people.
Yes.
If he's in Jabba's palace, I don't know, I feel like
he's clearly got some shady dealings.
Yeah, at the very least, that's hilarious.
I feel like this must have been a joke. This must have been like a joke name put in just temporarily.
Just to fill the slot. The Max Rebos. Like he'd even stop and ask, be like, hey, you're the dude playing the... What's your name, man? What's your name? I want to buy your album. Maybe he did buy his album on the way into Jabba's.
Maybe. Maybe Max Rebo went on to become a very successful musician, putting behind him his career with Jabba the Hutt. He became a new person or a new elephant and really turned his life around.
Yeah, exactly. I mean...
so, shall we get to the end of Act 2?
Absolutely. So shall I do 2 paragraphs, you do the other 2?
Yeah, sounds good. Go for it.
Sound. Rey keeps fiddling with the antiquated jetpack she found. Ahsoka finds one as well and tinkers with it. Yay, jetpack race! Rey, Chewie, Ahsoka and Luke, plus family, visit a misty Jedi graveyard. They hold a tiny memorial for Han Solo. Luke tells Rey about one of the nearby graves, a mysterious ancient Sith witch who turned to the light. Her name was Talston Lit. Rey sees Talston's palm print on her dirty headstone. Rey stares at it, inquisitive. She kneels down to touch it.
Audra asks Rey if she's ever had a birthday. Rey says she hasn't, so she and Luke's family throw her a small party. Audra gives her an amazing present, a new combat outfit. Audra refashioned Luke's old black Return of the Jedi outfit to fit Rey. It looks awesome, and Rey loves it.
That's got to stink something awful.
I'm sure she washed it beforehand,
Yeah, you'd hope so.
Meanwhile, on Sacrum, a lone First Order scout ship arrives. The beleaguered stormtroopers tell the tale of General Leia's black hole assault and how they were defeated. An irate Supreme Leader Snoke attempts to locate Kylo Ren, but his homing beacon has gone dead.
Dun, dun, dun. Well, what did you think of Act 2 there? Quite tasty in its own way.
Yeah, some interesting stuff in there. When I think about it, Act 2 is really quite short compared with Act 1. I mean, I know in Act 1 you've got to kind of get in a lot of information, but like Act 2, if you think about it, it just went from about halfway through page 7 to halfway through page 9. It was only a couple of pages, really. So this was it was a strange kind of Act 2 because you had that kind of mid-film kind of dogfight where... Oh, wait, was that in Act 1 where they had the dogfight with the black hole?
Yeah, it was.
I think it kind of kind of overlaps into Act 2 a bit because you get BB-8 kind of still being with Captain Phasma and stuff. Yeah, so it almost seems like a very thin Act 2, really. To say Act 2 is where like your conflict is building, it almost felt more like a pause to me.
Yeah.
But there are a few things I really liked in it. I liked the idea that they did like a Han Solo funeral because in the films they kind of, even I watching it kind of forgot that he had died.
Yeah, I know. They do kind of brush over that quite quickly. They don't really mention him too much in the next film.
Yeah, like him having some kind of actual memorial service was really nice to see and would have been really nice to have seen on screen because, they kind of just forget about it.
Yeah. And I like the personable bits of like having a birthday as well. I don't want to be too cynical. I think I enjoy that a bit. That's quite nice.
Yeah.
I find the idea of refashioning Luke's old black Return of the Jedi outfit very fan servicey. Very fan servicey.
That's like she's even dressing the same as him now. That's so weird.
It's overly fan servicey to me. I mean, she'll just want to wear her own stuff, and I'm sure like if we were to treat them as like real people, like Luke would want her to wear her own stuff too.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
He
Like,
would not. Yeah.
He wouldn't want her to wear his clothes. Just find that a little weird.
No, yeah.
But yeah.
And then we get another nod towards Talston lit, and Ray seems to have a strange connection when she looks at the grave. We'll find out what that means in the next episode of How Uncivilized.
Yeah, I imagine that will be ironed out.
Yeah, where we will go through Act 3 and give our final thoughts on the thing as a whole.
Yeah.
So thank you for listening to this episode, and you didn't think this was going to be a 3-parter, did you? I bet that's unexpected.
Neither did we.
Yeah, our first 3-parter.
Well, on that tasty, delicious note, goodbye there, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks for listening to episode 14 of the How Uncivilized podcast. If you're enjoying our deep dive of maybe JJ's script, then look out for the 3rd and final part coming soon. In the meantime, why not check out our playthrough of LEGO Star Wars, available on YouTube now.
You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, where you can find our cheeky playthrough, SoundCloud and Reddit. How Uncivilized was created, produced and edited by Charlie, That's No Moon, Feasby, and Spencer, That's My Arse, Lawrence.